Hello friends, good morning students. Let's start the chapter number 8, respiration and circulation. As we know that all living organisms require energy to carry out the various life processes. The energy that is stored in the body in the form of complex organic compound is however not unstable by the organism unless and until it is converted into the useful form, and this conversion process takes place with the help of the respiration. Now this respiration, it is the biochemical process of oxidation of organic compound in an orderly manner for the liberation of a chemical energy in the form of ATP. As we know that the general equation for respiration is C6H12O6 plus 6CO2, that gives 6CO2 plus 6H2O plus 38 ATPs, means from a glucose molecule during the process of this respiration 38 ATP molecules are produced, and this ATP energy we are get utilized for the various biochemical processes in the body. For these processes, the exchange of gases takes place between the organism and the environment. The site of gaseous exchange is called the respiratory surfaces. In plants and in animals, the site of respiration are different. There are various respiratory surfaces are provided by the nature. The respiratory organs for the exchange, it's present in both the organism, in both the plants, animals. They may be lower, they may be higher. The respiratory exchange is the physical process for the gaseous exchange, and the respiratory surface for each organism is the different. It should have a large surface area, it should be thin, highly vascular and permeable to allow exchange of gases. It should be moist. The gaseous exchange in plants. The shape and structure of plant facilitate gaseous exchange by the process of the diffusion. A terrestrial flowering plant has many air spaces between the cells of the stem, leaf and root. These air spaces are continuous. The oxygen diffuses into the air spaces through the stomata. Carbon dioxide and water vapors, they are get diffused out. In the aerated soil, the oxygen dissolves in the film of a moisture or water around the root tissues and enter by diffusion. Woody flowering plants have an external impervious bark. Gaseous exchange occur through the small pores in the surface called lenticule. This slide shows the picture, that is the presence of stomata on the upper and lower surface of leaf as well as on stem. This second diagram shows the structure of the lenticels present on the bark. As we know that the stomata, they plays the major important role for the gaseous exchange in plants, as well as these lenticels, they are also perform the respiration function in plants. Now the respiration in animals. As compared to plants, the animal shows a wide variety of respiratory surfaces or the organs. The respiratory surfaces differ in various animals. In animals, depending upon the complexity of organization and the surrounding medium, certain parts of the body have become specializes into different types of respiratory organs. In higher animals, these respiratory organs are also associated with a transport system. This chart shows the different organisms, their habitat and which type of respiratory surface present in these animals. The first very primitive phylum, the Protista, sponges and Coelenterata. These organisms present on that respected phylum they are having the aquatic habitat. They may be the marine organism, they may be the freshwater organism, but they can take the respiration through the plasma membrane. The flatworms like planarians, annelids and amphibians. These amphibians they prefer both the type of the habitat, that is the aquatic or terrestrial. These planarians and flatworms they perform the aquatic or semi-aquatic, and the respiration takes place through the plasma membrane and general body surface. The insect they are totally terrestrial in habitat, and they can exchange their gases in the tracheal tubes and the spiracles present on their body. Arachnids like the spiders and the scorpions, terrestrial in habitat, and the presence of book lungs in these organisms helps for the respiration. Limulus is totally aquatic. The book gills present in that organism helps in respiration. Amphibians, tadpoles, frogs, salamanders, these organisms they can take the respiration through the external gills, as the evolutionary line shows from simple to the complex of the body organisms developed. The fishes are the aquatic in habitat, and respiration takes place through the internal gills. Reptiles, birds, mammals are totally terrestrial, and well-developed lungs are observed in these organisms shows the process of respiration. The mammal it is the evolved group as compared to other. Therefore, the complete well-developed respiratory system is observed in this group. The turtles they are underwater, and the cloaca is present for the respiratory exchange in these organisms. Now let's start the human respiratory system. The respiratory system brings about the processes like inspiration, expiration, and exchange of gases in the lungs. The respiratory system can be divided into an upper respiratory system and lower respiratory system. The upper respiratory system is made up of external nares, nasal cavities, internal nares, nasopharynx, nose, throat, and associated structures. This diagram shows the human respiratory system where the nasal passage, pharynx, larynx, trachea, lungs, and internally these lungs are provided with the alveolar sacs, bronchi, bronchioles. In between that lungs, the presence of the diaphragm is showing in this diagram. The lower respiratory system is made up of the larynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, and the lungs. Let's start the nose. It is a pair of a slit-like opening called external nares or nostrils for the entry of air into the nasal cavity. Now this nasal cavity is divided into right and left nasal chamber by a mesenteroid cartilage. That nose it is the divided into the three region. The first region is the vestibules. It is the proximal part about the nostril, and internally it is provided with the hair to trap the dust particle and filter the air. The second is the respiratory part. It is the middle thin walled, highly muscular part for warming and moistening the inhaled air. Third is the olfactory and sensory chamber. The uppermost part is internally lined by olfactory epithelium, and this is used for the detection of the smell. Next organ is the pharynx. It is again divided into three parts. The nasopharynx, it is the uppermost part from nasal chamber. It leads into oropharynx, means the common passage for food and air, and it is continuous as a laryngopharynx. These pharynx shows the presence of the tonsils in body. The next organ is the larynx. It is called the voice box. It is the part of respiratory tract which contains the vocal cord for producing the sound. The larynx extends from the laryngopharynx and hyoid one to the trachea. It is the hollow tubular structure. Its wall is made up of cartilage palate held by muscles and membranes. Internally, they are lined by a pair of elastic vocal cords. This diagram shows the larynx region. The voice is produced by the passage of air between the vocal cords and modulations created by tongue, teeth, lips and nasal cavity. This larynx opens into laryngopharynx region through a slit-like opening called epiglottis, and this epiglottis is guarded by a flap-like structure called that this diagram shows the upper surface, it is the epiglottis is present. The function of is that nothing but to prevent the entry of food into the trachea. The next organ is the trachea. It is also known as a windpipe. It is a long tube near about 10 to 12 centimeter in length. It runs through the neck in the form of esophagus and extends into and up to the middle of the thoracic cavity. It is supported by C-shaped 16 to 20 rings of cartilage which prevent the collapse of trachea. Means indirectly these ribs provides the support. It is lined internally with ciliated pseudostriated epithelium and mucous gland that trap the unwanted particle prevent into the lungs. The next are the bronchi. The trachea divide into right and left primary bronchi as it reaches the middle of the thoracic cavity. The bronchi are supported internally by C-shaped incomplete ring of cartilage. The primary bronchi divide to form secondary and tertiary bronchi which leads into terminal bronchioles ending into alveoli. Now the lungs. These are the main respiratory organs of humans. One pair of spongy and elastic lungs are present in the thoracic cavity. Each lung is enclosed and protected by a double pleural membrane, outer parietal membrane and inner visceral membrane. Between the two pleura is a pleural cavity filled with a lubricating fluid known as the pleural fluid. It is secreted by a membrane. The right lung is larger and divided into three lobes, while the left lung is smaller, divided into the two lobes. Each lobe of the lung has the terminal bronchiole ending in a bunch of the air sac. Each air sac is with the 10 to 12 alveoli. Now this alveoli, this diagram shows the structure of bronchiole. Alveoli, these are the grape-like structure and the presence of alveolar sacs which contains the air. These are thin-walled lobulated structure. They are present in a bunch of grape. Each alveolus is surrounded by a network of capillaries of pulmonary arteries and veins. These have elastic wall made up of a single layer of a squamous epithelium. They are rest on basement membrane of a connective tissue. There are about 700 million alveoli present in lungs and they provide the surface area for the exchange of gases. This is about the organs present associated with the lungs up to the alveoli. And the next is the diaphragm which is present in between the two lungs. It is the muscular septum that separates the thoracic and the abdominal cavity. The diagram present in the textbook that human respiratory system or in the same slide that diagram shows the where is the position of the diaphragm. That is, this diaphragm, it is helps to separation of the thoracic as well as the abdominal cavity. It is the dome shape in structure, and on contraction it becomes the flat.